I am Reed, I am 27. Just an average dude. I've made tons of money mistakes in my 20s. And now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. So the other day, I picked up a shift at the bar, and honestly, it had been a pretty busy day for me. I didn't have much time to do anything. I managed to cram in a small lunch in passing, but it definitely was not enough to fill me up, let alone hold me over till 8 p.m. So I started game planning, I was looking at restaurants around the bar, and I even called my girlfriend to see if she would pick something up if I paid for it. So I spent the next 20 minutes looking at different menus, and I decided I was not going to eat anything. I would rather starve than spend the $12 to $15 that I needed for a meal, and that was with access to my girlfriend bringing it to me. If I had DoorDashed it, it probably would have been at least another $5. I know that might not sound like a lot, but I am broke right now. Inflation is freaking 3.8%, and gas prices are through the roof, and I do not make a lot of money. So yeah, I might only be saving $20, but I legitimately cannot afford that right now, and I am fine with that. Here is the thing that a lot of people do not get. Every single dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of life you want to live. When you spend $15 on a takeout meal, you are telling yourself that comfort right now matters more than security later. And look, I am not trying to be dramatic, but if you add up all the little crap you buy every week, the numbers get scary real fast. $15 here, $20 there, it adds up to hundreds every month, thousands every year, and for what? So you can eat a meal that kind of tastes good for 10 minutes and then you forget about it. I would rather invest my money anyway. By not investing it, I would be actively taking away from my future, from my retirement, from the vacations I want. Would I rather spend a day in Monaco or eat a freaking bomb-ass chicken teriyaki right now? I know it might sound like an obvious choice, but most people pick the chicken teriyaki every single time and then wonder why they are broke. I am telling you right now, pick Monaco, pick the long game, pick the life you actually want to live 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I usually try to be reasonable in my videos, but it is getting to the point where I might need to cut back on that, even if it makes somebody mad. A lot of people are not where they want to be financially, and they never will be where they want to be financially if they do not sit down and be honest with themselves and develop a game plan. Because the harsh reality is a lot of people really cannot afford these conveniences and these luxuries, especially with the economic climate that is going on today. And I am not saying this to make anyone feel bad. I am saying it because I was there. I was the guy who thought he deserved a nice dinner after a long week of work. I was the guy who bought stuff on credit because I told myself I would pay it off later. Spoiler alert, I never paid it off later. I just dug myself deeper and deeper into a hole until I woke up one day and realized I had nothing to show for years of working. You need to drop your entitled mindset, and I do not mean that in a bad way. But let us say you work hard at your job, and because of that, you think you can kind of relax and go out to eat or something. I do not know. Just do not do that. Quit saying I deserve this or I earn this. Look, I know the vast majority of my audience is male, so just from a male perspective, here's how I think about it. I try to just take away everything for myself. I do not really need anything. It does not really matter for me. I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to be able to get my girlfriend whatever she wants. I want to be able to get my kids whatever they want. I want them to have a good, comfortable, safe life. And if that means me going hungry a little bit, so be it. That is fine. I will definitely slow down on this a little bit whenever I get older and my investments start compounding more and really paying for themselves, but it takes so much to get that ball rolling, and I have done a pretty good job of that so far, but I still have a long way to go, and I have not really seen any major compounding yet. But of course, if you have watched my channel, I am a big dividend growth investor, and I want my dividends to pay for my lifestyle, but it has not gotten near to that point yet. And as corny as it may sound, I am going to put my head down. I am going to work, and I might suffer for a little bit, but it is all for a life that I want. Let me tell you about my buddy. The other day, I printed out a freaking Fidelity form so he could fill it out and mail it in to open up an account. He has not even started yet. He told me he wants to get his finances together, but he keeps putting it off. Sound familiar? And again, I want to be reasonable, but I honestly cannot. Life is not reasonable, and if you want to get ahead, you have to stop making excuses. I get it. It might sound like I am on a high horse because I live a cushy life with my family and most of my bills are paid, but that did not happen by accident. I made sacrifices. I said no to stuff I wanted. I ate ramen when I wanted steak. I stayed home when my friends went out, and yeah, it sucks sometimes, but it was worth it. Some people have kids, and I get that is a whole different level of responsibility. Some people work really long hours with their job. My friend just worked 31 days straight. Everyone's situation is different. You have to make the most of it. You have to look at your specific circumstances and figure out what you can cut and what you cannot. But I promise you there is something you can cut. There is always something, and it is not just something like DoorDash either. Everything has been getting optimized for our convenience, and companies are capitalizing off of you. Think about the last time you went to the grocery store. Did you buy pre-portioned, pre-packaged fruits or vegetables, even though it is marked up? What about meat? Even though meat prices have been rising, I am sure 99.9% of the population still buys the portioned ground beef or ribeyes, even though you could buy a whole ass chuck roll for way cheaper. And again, I understand convenience. Nobody wants to cut up a whole chuck roll. Nobody wants to cut up a whole pineapple or watermelon, but you got to be honest with yourself. Again, inflation is high. Stuff is expensive. Can you really afford to be buying this stuff? Is your time valuable enough for you to not spend the 20 or 30 minutes cutting up your groceries? Because here's the thing, most of us are not so busy that we cannot spare 20 minutes to save money on food. Most of us are just lazy. And I am including myself in that. I have bought the pre-cut fruit before. I have paid extra for convenience. But when you start doing it all the time, it becomes a habit, and that habit keeps you broke. I guess I really wanted to talk about food because food is the biggest area where people waste money without even thinking about it. But it is not just food. Another huge trap that just really grinds my freaking gears and pisses me off is buy now, pay later. I do not even want to call it a convenience because it really just kills the average working class citizen. Why is that even a thing? Has anybody watching this video actually done this before? I guess people actually do because their revenue has been rising. They have grown at 20%. Look, if you are buying a house, I understand, put that on a payment plan. Some people might even buy cars. Ideally, buy it in cash, but if you cannot afford that, I totally understand. These are big purchases, but there is no reason that you need to be buying now and paying later on. Some crap like a lunch or a basketball, this for real could be things people are buying. I looked it up and the average Klarna balance is under $100. That means people are financing purchases under $100. Think about that for a second. You are literally putting yourself into debt for less than $100. That is insane. And while I was looking that up, I found this terrible ad. Look at how stupid this sounds. Who the hell wants to spend more? Look, you could be the best person with your money ever. You could pay everything off immediately. I do not know why you would even do this on Klarna. I know with a credit card you can actually get points and stuff, but I have no idea what Klarna offers. There is no reason to make it any harder than it needs to be. Every single time you finance a transaction, you are just making it more difficult, making it more complex. And I see the demographic of guys that watch my videos. I understand why all are similar to me, and I am sure with everything going on in the world right now, why all do not want anything to be harder than it needs to be. I know I would not. And take it from me, I love freaking talking about stocks. I love finance, investing, everything to do with money. I am Mr. Krabs, honestly. I am just disgusting when it comes to this stuff. But when it comes to doing stuff in my bank account and paying off my cards, even looking at my high-yield savings account, I forget that it even exists. But all of that is just an extra step, and it is just annoying. I do not like doing it. I can look at my Fidelity account, my Schwab account, all freaking day nonstop. But I know the second I start to add friction with paying stuff off, I am going to forget about it. I am not going to want to do it, and then I am just going to start racking up interest and literally burning money for no reason. Forget about Klarna. It is not even an option to you, and forget about sports betting and all that crap. I hate that stuff so much, and I hate what it has become, but that is a topic for another video. You just need to get away from everything, and I do not mean a cabin in the woods getaway. I mean out of sight, out of mind. If you can delete apps off your phone, that works. One time I actually did this with Instagram because I was spending way too much time on Reels. There was legitimately a point in my life where I would spend hours every single day on Reels. It was not fun, to be honest, but it worked. I for real forgot Instagram even existed, and it saved me a ton of hours from my life. Do whatever you need to do to make it easier to stay on track. Throw your phone in a hard-to-reach spot, turn your colors to black and white. I've also done this. It did not last that long because I did not like it, but I think it helped me stay off my phone for a bit. Just start here and build your foundation of self-control, because if you cannot do these things, who is to say you can hold your stocks through a down year? I had to find some way to bring it back to investing, but it is true. Unless you are investing in some pyramid scheme, you are going to experience ups and downs in the market, and that volatility scares a lot of people. They see their portfolio drop 20% and they panic sell, they lock in their losses, they miss out on the recovery. And why? Because they never built the discipline to sit still and do nothing. That is the thing about investing. Most of the time, the best thing you can do is nothing. Just hold, just wait. Let the market do its thing. But if you cannot even resist the urge to DoorDash lunch, how are you going to resist the urge to sell when the market drops? It is the same muscle. Self-control is self-control no matter where you apply it. I feel like I am getting off topic, but here's the point. Just make it easier for yourself to stay on track, because ironically, a lot of conveniences actually do more harm than good. In the long run, look at the example I gave earlier. We could save like 20 bucks on DoorDash, and I bartend once a week. I could realistically spend $80 a month on DoorDash. Now, of course, I totally could have taken that same 20 bucks a week and put it in the QQQ instead, which would have been a way better alternative, and over the past year, I would have made about $170 in pure profit. But I do not want you to think about it this way. Do not think about just cold hard cash. What is your opportunity cost? It could very well be saving an extra grand a year. It could also be your fitness goals. Eating some bomb-ass food that you made will probably lead to you being happier and healthier. And I know I am kind of sticking with this DoorDash spend money food point, but circling back to my other example, just mindlessly doom scrolling and getting all this quick dopamine is going to keep you fat. It is going to keep you lazy. It is going to keep you stuck. It really is a trap. When you are training your brain to accept mediocrity, everything worth doing is going to be exponentially harder. And I am a victim of this too. I am no better than anyone else. Recently, I have been spending way too much time playing video games. So Neo 2 just came out, and I legitimately spent 7 hours straight playing it on Sunday. I am a pretty disgusting creature. But I managed to go for a run yesterday and it sucked. It was way harder than I remember it being. But hopefully I can start building this habit up again, and hopefully before the end of today I will go for another run. The point is, we all struggle with this stuff. Nobody is perfect. But the difference between people who get ahead and people who stay stuck is that the ones who get ahead keep trying even when it sucks. They keep showing up even when they do not feel like it. They say no to the easy thing so they can say yes to the important thing later. This video has been all over the place, and I definitely strayed away from finance more than I meant to. But I genuinely believe this: if you are paying and settling for conveniences, it will have a negative effect on your finances, and it will also have a negative effect on a lot of other aspects of your life. And I understand conveniences. I am no better than any of you, but if you want to move forward past what is a trap to a lot of people, you have to do some things that suck. You have to cook your own food. You have to cut your own fruit. You have to say no to that takeout. You have to delete the apps that waste your time. You have to build the discipline today so you can enjoy the rewards tomorrow. And that is pretty much the video, but if you want to stick around with me for a bit longer, I just want to say while I was recording this video, I looked at my account and I hit a milestone. I do not know if you can hear the smile on my face, but I passed 1,000 subscribers, which just blows my freaking mind, and I was not expecting it this quickly. I think yesterday I had like 950. I definitely still have a long journey ahead of me, but I just want to give you my most honest and sincere thank you so much. I really appreciate it. To everyone that has been watching my videos, everyone that has subscribed, you have taken time out of your day to support me, and I genuinely appreciate it. It means more than you know. But as always, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, consider leaving a comment, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Good luck on your investing journey. Peace.